to a new episode of The Week That Was, TIOL's News Roundup. We have filtered for you a lot of news that unfolded during this Diwali week. Let's first turn to the implications of another fuel price hike. Petrol is a product internationally price sensitive and susceptible to manipulations. With excise duty on petrol being increased 5 times a year, with the latest hike kicking in on November 7th, we found that the taxes and duties on petrol now exceed the actual cost of petrol production. We have made this calculation for you. In Delhi, more than half the price of petrol goes to the government as taxes and duties. 1 litre of petrol priced at 60 rupees 70 paisa gives the government 31 rupees 20 paisa. Here's how. It costs 24 rupees 75 paise to produce 1 litre of petrol at the refineries. This figure is based on the average cost of gasoline and foreign exchange rates during the second half of October. After adding company margins and other costs, including distribution and wastage, a petrol station dealer is charged 27 rupees 24 paise per litre of petrol. Add the excise duty of about 19 rupees and value-added tax of about 12 rupees plus the dealer commission of 2 rupees 26 paise per litre. This calculation shows that 31 rupees 20 paise is collected as tax and duties on a price of rupees 60.70. Similarly, a litre of diesel costs 45 rupees 93 paise, but its actual production cost at the refinery is just 24 rupees 86 paise. After company margins, oil companies transfer it to petrol stations for about 27 rupees. Excise duty, VAT and the dealer commission of 1 rupees 43 paise per litre adds more than rupees 17 as taxes and duties to 1 litre of diesel. This increase in excise duty on these fuels is expected to yield an additional revenue of rupees 3,200 crore for the rest of the current fiscal if the government does not subject us to another duty hike. The Department of Revenue expected indirect tax collections to compensate for the shortfall expected in direct tax revenue. This is exactly what is happening. The bulk of the growth in indirect taxes came from excise duty collections, which grew by 68% to nearly rupees 1.5 lakh crore till October. The increase reflects the policy changes, the rise in excise duty on petroleum, the withdrawal of concessions for automobiles and capital goods, besides an increase in the rate of service tax, have all helped the government. Even without these, the increase in indirect tax collections crosses 13%. The 0.5% Swach Bharat tax and increase in excise duty on fuel from Saturday shall add to the indirect tax kitty. Letting go of controls can be rather tricky, especially for the Department of Revenue, which is on an ease of doing business drive. In keeping with its declaration of 2015 as the year of taxpayer services, the Central Board of Excise and Customs has issued a circular for speedy sanction of service tax refunds for pending claims of service exporters under Rule 5 of the CENVAT credit rules. However, the conditional access to speedy refunds may actually complicate the situation. The scheme to fast-track speedy sanction of refund of accumulated CENVAT credit is applicable for all pending refund claims filed on or before March 31, 2015, which ought to have been cleared before July 1, 2015. To avail this scheme, an exporter of services only needs to file a CA certificate and an indemnity undertaking. However, the certification format as prescribed by the board involves legal issues on which only the department may adjudicate. A chartered accountant cannot certify whether the assessee is eligible for credit, whether it satisfies all rules and notifications, or even whether the transaction amounts to export. The intention is clean, but how can the CA take on the role of the department adjudicator? To further complicate the issue, even if a CA does stamp the certificate in the prescribed format and the assessee gets a provisional refund of 80% within 5 days as provided in the circular, the department may still issue a notice to the assessee if it feels the refund was wrongly claimed. If the demand is confirmed, the assessee will need to return the monies to the government with interest ranging from 18% to 30%. Borrowing money at such high interest rates may not be a wise business proposition. On one hand, the department mouths ease of doing business as a pet phrase, yet goes and does something utterly contrary to this principle. From tomorrow, Sunday, the government brings into effect a Swach Bharat cess of 0.5% on all taxable services. Thankfully, the CBEC has come out with several notifications fixing the alternative rate for the cess and clarifying several other doubts relating to reverse charge mechanism. Although the CBEC notifications have not clarified whether this cess is going to be Senvatable or not, but the Revenue Secretary Dr. Hasmukh Adhya has tweeted that Senvat credit is not available on Swach Bharat cess. So it is going to be 14.5% service tax from November 15th onwards. But why not December 1? Little does the government realize the difficulty it's going to cause assessees who have already collected service tax for the month of November. They would now need to collect this cess separately for the 15 days of November. Many assessees using electronic systems will have to make changes in their programs to collect the cess, which is not Senvatable. When the Finance Act 2015 came into effect from May 14, 2015, and the government waited 6 months to notify this tax, couldn't it have waited 15 days more to actually make it easier for the assessees? The goods and services tax, expected to operate from April 2016, has suffered another setback with the resignation of the Kerala Finance Minister Mr. K.M. Mani, the senior-most finance minister and legislator in India. Mr. Mani has been an MLA for the last 50 years without a break and presented more than 10 budgets. As Finance Minister, Mr. Mani also headed the GST Empowered Committee. Mr. Mani resigned as State Finance Minister on moral grounds, following allegations of bribes taken from the Kerala Bar Hotel Owners Association. His resignation from one post makes him lose the chairmanship of the GST Empowered Committee, for which a new chairperson will need to be found to take the GST forward. Any takers? In keeping with its efforts to ease taxpayers' plight before assessing officers, the Central Board of Direct Taxes has turned its gaze on its officers' tendency to frame high-pitched and unreasonable scrutiny assessment orders. The board has sought to address taxpayers' grievances against such orders, which results in nothing but harassment of taxpayers and generation of unproductive work for the department. The board will constitute local committees to deal with such grievances against high-pitched scrutiny assessment. Suitable administrative action shall be taken on any hint of non-observance of the principles of natural justice or non-application of mind, gross negligence, or even lack of involvement by the assessing officer. The local committee shall also appropriately present the departmental position before appellate authorities to curtail litigation. The civil services, one exam, one batch, one pay. However, it's no secret that the Indian Administrative Service or IAS enjoys an edge over the other services in terms of better pay scale and career prospects. While IAS officers consider themselves first among equals, officers from other services, the IPS or even IRS, believe that this is a form of apartheid. But now there is a not so quiet revolution underway. Even as the 7th Central Pay Commission, considering parity in all services, prepares its report to be submitted to government next week, IAS officers have come together to preserve their supremacy by writing to the Department of Personnel and Training and to the IAS Officers Association and even sparred on social media with officers from other services. Even politicians, by nature divided, are split over supporting this fight for parity. What is on the cards? Is the report going to have many dissent votes? We shall keep you informed. It is now clear that promotion of special days like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, or even Daughter's Day are largely a commercial gimmick. Near home in China, the celebration of Singles Day on November 11th broke international sales records, surpassing the wild buying spree usually recorded in America's Cyber Monday or Black Friday. When China celebrated Singles Day on November 11th, the Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba Group Holding Limited recorded online sale transactions exceeding $1.6 billion within 12 minutes as online buyers went on a shopping spree. Everything was at a discount: clothing, accessories, electronics, and food. By the end of the day, Alibaba broke its own sales record of $9 billion in 2014 by clocking over $14 billion in sales this year. Interestingly, Singles Day is celebrated in China on November 11th as the numbers 1111 resemble bare branches. Also, the Chinese term for bachelors and spinsters. Popularity of Singles Day started as a reaction to Valentine's Day, gathered momentum when Alibaba Holdings perceived it as a sales opportunity and invested over the years to promote sales by featuring hefty discounts for its online consumers. Indians, however busy preparing for Diwali, also participated in this buying gala. Now for a report with some good news and bad about India's human capital. While Indian scientists can launch satellites and smart Indian engineers can run computers in the USA, India faces a serious skills shortage with only 10% of its workforce working for the organized sector. But the good news is, by the year 2050, India will overtake China as the largest producer of workers. As per Bloomberg's analysis of United Nations data, by 2050, the Asia-Pacific region will have nearly 50% of the world's total workforce, down from 62% as of today. India will account for 18.8% of the global workforce, knocking down China from its current top spot at 20.9%, which is projected to shrink to 13%. This means more than one-third of the global workforce would be Indian. However, the quality of India's human capital is a serious issue which needs to be urgently addressed. India needs good quality factory workers with high school degrees who can do reasonable maths, which will deliver capable plumbers, electricians, and construction engineers to build roads and bridges. Perhaps this is why more than 90% of India's workforce currently works in the informal sector, which means the new Skills and Entrepreneurship Ministry set up by the Modi government has its work charted out to train 400 million workers by the year 2022. And now for the final offbeat piece in today's bulletin. Make way for a new breed of political strategists. Meet Mr. Prashant Kishor, the man who meticulously planned and put into action Mr. Nitish Kumar's poll victory in Bihar. Mr. Kishor is an articulate professional, apparently free of the baggage of ideology, with an ability to see through the fluff to the very heart of the problem. Heading an independent organization called the Indian Political Action Committee, he provides his consultancy services to those who need it. As a freelance public campaign manager, he worked with Mr. Narendra Modi, then for Chama Cha Mapinduzi, the ruling party in Tanzania, and now beside Mr. Nitish Kumar by putting together the campaign for the Grand Alliance or the Mahagathbandhan. With an ability to spot talent, Mr. Narendra Modi invited Mr. Prashant Kishor, then working with the Social Policy and Strategic Planning Division of the United Nations, to Gujarat. Mr. Prashant Kishor joined a team of young professionals, the Citizens for Accountable Governance, which strategized Modi's 2012 assembly polls in Gujarat and then the 2014 Lok Sabha elections. Well, Mr. Modi's loss is Mr. Nitish Kumar's gain. Mr. Prashant Kishor is a man who plays on his instincts and blessed with loads of common sense, probably the key traits for managing any political campaign in India. With that, we conclude this bulletin of the week that was. Please do write to us your comments, counsel, criticism, and even news at editor@tiol.in. You may subscribe to TIOL Tube to remain updated on new posts. Have a cheerful weekend.